Welcome to our corner of the world, where we gather to share the stories that define us. I'm so grateful you've chosen to spend this time with us today, because what we're about to explore together is something that touches each and every one of us in different ways. This is a story about the human heart, about the choices we make, the consequences we face, and the quiet, often painful strength it takes to move forward when life doesn't go according to our carefully laid plans. You know, we believe that when we share our real experiences with one another, something magical happens. We realize we're not alone in our struggles. We understand that others have walked similar paths, felt similar confusion, and faced similar impossible decisions. That's why we're here today, and that's why I want to ask something of you before we begin. If this story touches your heart, if it makes you think differently about love or second chances, please share that with us. Your thoughts matter, your experiences matter, and sometimes the most healing thing we can do is tell someone else that their feelings are valid and real. But before we step into Nathan and Vanessa's world, I want to pose a question to you, something to sit with. If someone you once loved deeply, someone who chose to walk away to find something else, came back years later asking for another chance, how would you respond? What would you need from them? What could they possibly say or do to rebuild what was broken? Think about that for a moment. Keep that question close as we listen to this story together. Now let me introduce you to the people at the heart of this journey. Nathan is 45 years old. He runs a small construction business, the kind where he builds homes from the ground up and repairs what's been damaged over time. His hands know the language of wood and stone and solid foundations. His mind understands something profound, that you cannot simply glue back a foundation that's cracked. You have to start deeper, work slower, prove through every action over months and years that real change has taken place. Nathan believes this about houses, and he believed this about people too. Then there's Vanessa, who is 42. She was a store manager, the kind of woman who lit up every room she entered. She had this magnetic energy, this genuine love for adventure and discovery and the feeling of being alive. She wanted to experience everything, taste everything, feel everything. Life around her was never boring because she wouldn't allow it to be. And there's Claire, their dear friend at 43. She was the kind of person who could stay honest and kind even when everything around her was falling apart. She didn't choose sides. She held space for everyone's pain. Nathan and Vanessa had been married for 17 years. 17 years. That's not just a number, that's half a lifetime together. They had built something real. 2 beautiful children, a home filled with laughter and memories, plans for growing old together, retirement dreams, grandchild fantasies. From the outside, they were the couple everyone wanted to be. They had nailed it. They had the blueprint for a perfect life, and they were building it room by room, year by year. But perfection is a dangerous thing to believe in because real life is never perfect. Real life is complicated and messy, and sometimes it surprises us in ways we never expected. One evening, sitting in their living room like they had countless times before, Vanessa said something that would change everything. She told Nathan that she felt like something was missing, not something he had failed to give her, but something inside her own life. She explained that she had spent her whole adult life in the roles that were expected of her: wife, mother, homemaker. And somewhere in the middle of making those roles beautiful, she had lost touch with herself. She wanted to find out who Vanessa was, not as someone's wife, but as her own person. She wanted to experience the world while she still had time. She wanted to feel young again. Nathan listened. He tried to reason with her, to find solutions together. But Vanessa had already made her decision. She wasn't asking him to come along on this journey. She was telling him she needed to take it alone. Within weeks, Vanessa had moved to an apartment downtown. The photos started appearing online, pictures of parties, new friends, late nights out, the kind of life that looked like freedom and adventure. Nathan couldn't bear to watch his wife become a stranger in photographs. So he stopped looking. Instead, he poured himself into his work, into being present for his children, into the gym and his own health. He wasn't wallowing. He was building a new foundation, one brick at a time. A year passed, then another. The divorce was finalized. Nathan accepted it. He grieved it. And then, slowly, he discovered something unexpected. He was okay. More than okay. He was whole. 18 months after Vanessa walked out the door, Nathan was having breakfast when his phone buzzed. A text from Vanessa. "I have had my fun. Now I am ready to be a wife again." Nathan stared at those words, like they were written in a language he didn't quite understand. The audacity of that message, the assumption that he would simply be waiting, that their marriage was just something she could pause and resume like a television show, it struck something deep inside him. Not anger, exactly, something sadder than that. He called Claire, who had stayed friends with both of them in that complicated way some people can manage. She explained that Vanessa's world had fallen apart. The people she partied with had moved on to their own lives. The job was gone. The adventure had lost its shine. And now, with nothing left to chase, she was remembering what she had left behind. Nathan sat with that information for an hour. Then he typed a response. "That chapter ended when you walked away. Goodbye." But Vanessa couldn't accept that. She called, left voicemails, sent messages saying she had changed, that they belonged together, that this was just a detour in their story. Nathan read every word, and he felt something that surprised him. He felt sad for her, but sadness isn't the same as obligation. Sadness isn't the same as love rekindled. When Vanessa showed up at his office unannounced, Nathan didn't turn her away, but he didn't pretend either. They sat in that small room, and Vanessa told him the truth. She had been selfish. She had taken him for granted. She had made a terrible mistake. She cried real tears of genuine regret. And Nathan believed her. He could see she had suffered for her choices. He could see she meant what she was saying. But then he said something that broke her heart completely. "The man who would have waited for you, who would have taken you back, who would have tried again, he doesn't exist anymore. He died while you were out finding yourself." Vanessa left his office knowing the truth that we sometimes take a lifetime to understand. You cannot go back. You can only go forward. Sometimes the person who loved you learns to live without you, and by the time you decide you want them back, they've already found their peace. That's where the real tragedy lives.